What's the deal, YouTube? What's the deal, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. UFC Fight Night 85. Mark Hunt versus Frank Mir. Mark Hunt able to knock Frank Mir out in the first round of this fight, which I thought was going to be a much better fight than it ended up being. Two older guys. I think Mark Hunt is like 36 years old, and Frank Mir is, if I'm not mistaken, he's about 40. It's what wasn't the fight that I thought it was going to be. We will recap the entire event tonight, the entire event that just went down. We'll go through an entire recap of UFC 185, starting with the main event. Frank Mir is knocked out by Mark Hunt in this first round of the fight. Not a very good fight. Frank Mir, I didn't even see Frank Mir land a fucking punch throughout the entire fight. He spent most of the time just kind of bobbing and weaving throughout, and he ended up getting clocked with a right hand from Mark Hunt, knocking him down. Now the fight before that one was an absolute gem of a fight between Neil Magny and Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard came out like a house on fire, almost getting the. I wonder how close he was to getting the stoppage against Neil Magny in that first round, just landing some hammers on Neil Magny in the first round. But Neil Magny able to weather the storm, and in the end of it, Neil Magny is able to finish Hector Lombard in the third round via punches from the top, and that's a fight that I did get to see, a TKO from Neil Magny in the third round. Before that fight, what fight did we have before that? We had Jake Matthews versus Johnny Case. Matthews defeats Case by submission in the third round. That was a pretty damn good fight as well. Before that, we had Daniel Kelly versus Antonio Carlos Jr. and Kelly defeated Carlos via TKO in the third round of that fight. A lot of third round finishes on this event card. Before that fight, we had Bosse finishing James Tahuna, finishing him in the first round via knockout, a clobbering knockout on James Tahuna. Just a clobbering knockout. We had Beck Rawlings defeating Se Hee Ham. I hope that I'm saying her name correctly. I remember I am an American, so some of these names don't roll off the tongue as the way they should. But Beck Rawlings able to defeat Se Hee Ham by unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. And what do we have before that? We had Alan Jobon defeating O'Reilly by TKO in the first round. And before that, we had Daniel Hooker defeating Mark Edva by submission in the first round of that fight. Before that, we had Leslie Smith defeating Rin Nakai by unanimous decision in that fight. So a decent card. I thought the main event was probably the worst outcome of any of the fights that I thought were going to actually be competitive tonight. I expected Frank Mir to put up a much better fight than he did. And before tonight, I was one of the individuals saying that I wouldn't mind seeing Frank Mir go against the champion. And the reason why is because Frank Mir is one of the only individuals that I feel won't be afraid to take the fight wherever it goes. Like, if you watch the last time our champion went up against Cain Velasquez, it was clearly very obvious that that Frank Mir didn't want to take the fight to the ground. I don't think Frank Mir would be afraid to go to the ground with our champion. But he's never going to get an opportunity to get another title shot losing in this fashion, getting knocked out in the first round. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Stipe Miocic that's going to get an opportunity at the champion, and it'll be very easy to see how the fight is going to take place from the way that it starts, because Verdum is he's so great on the ground that nobody wants to fight him on the ground in this division. So these fighters are gonna have to keep. That's why I have him rated as my #1 pound for pound fighter, is because he has an area in his fight, in his style of fighting in this division. He's one of the only guys that will go there at where he's ranked at. Stipe Miocic is not going to want to go there with Verdum. And I could have sworn I said, yeah, okay. So at UFC 198, it's going to be Verdum versus Miocic. I just hope he doesn't have any type of rust going on, and we get to see the best Verdum possible. But that's going to be one hell of a fight. Next, let's see, April 10th, that'll be the next event that we have. That'll be with Big Ben Rothwell versus Junior Dos Santos. We have, who is that? Tony Kukui Ferguson versus Margatinov. I know I destroyed that name. Pretty good undercard, too. An old-ass undercard, but it's got Glover Teixeira versus Rashad Evans, Lyoto Machida versus Dan Henderson. It's a pretty good undercard. Swanson versus Diaz. Dodson versus it's a pretty Betch Correa. Why the fuck is she way down there? I don't understand that. Betch Correa versus Pennington. Betch Correa goes from being in the main event to an undercard. Damn. That's horrible. Anyway, that just goes to show you, like, they don't have any type of respect for her. She goes to being the main event to being on an undercard. I guess you could say the same thing about John Dodson as well, but shit. Absolutely no respect for Betch Correa. Anyway, wow, they got John Jones ranked as the #1 pound for pound fighter. I guess so. I mean, he hasn't lost. I still go with Verdum. They got UFC has Verdum ranked as #4. To me, I like Verdum more than I like John Jones, honestly. And I know John Jones has defended more. I know he has defended more than Fabricio Verdum, but I like Verdum's game more than I like John Jones. And as Verdum continues to improve his stand-up, he's going to get more and more dangerous, because it's going to get to a point where people don't want to stand up with him, and they don't want to go to the ground with him as well. And not to mention that he's the guy that tapped out Fedor Emelianenko. Anyway, where are we right now? Let's see. We got anybody talking in the comment section? What happened? Let's see. Let's see if there's any questions we can chop it up about. Hunt Gagner. I have no idea. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Mark Hunt, man. With a huge, I was very disappointed in Mark Hunt because I thought Mark Hunt was going to get a shot at winning the title, or at least going up for the title, and he never got his opportunity. I forgot who knocked him the fuck out. He really disappointed me because I thought he would be a guy that would be able to get the title. I mean, he's got a solid chin, and he's got hellacious power in that right hand. But even Mark Hunt, I don't think Mark Hunt will be able to defeat Fabricio Verdum. I think Verdum would cause him all kinds of problems because of where he's able. I mean, Mark Hunt is your classic boxer, kickboxer. Not much wrestling from Mark Hunt as well. And whereas Verdum is just so great as a grappler, he would give him some serious help. I haven't talked much about the Neil Magny win, which was the much better fight, man. That was a fucking amazing fight for Neil Magny. I mean, Neil Magny was getting beat the fuck up in the first round. First round of that fight, man, I'm looking like, fuck, Neil. You getting beat the fuck up. But he truly showed a lot of heart. He showed a tremendous amount of heart. Got beat the fuck up in the first round and weathered it. Weathered it, almost finished the fight in the second round, and in the third round able to TKO Hector Lombard. And it just goes to show you, though, that in MMA, big muscular cats, you hardly ever see a big muscular cat achieve a high level. I mean, whether it's Anthony Rumble Johnson or Hector Lombard or any of those other big fucking cats, and that's because that muscle just wears those fucking guys down. I mean, Hector Lombard was wailing on Neil Magny, and Neil Magny is a kind of thin dude, and the next thing you know, Hector Lombard is gassed in the second round, and Neil Magny is still looking fresh, still grappling him, able to just land significant punches, even though he doesn't have the most power. Like, if Neil Magny had more power, he would have put Hector Lombard out in the second round. But Neil Magny isn't a very powerful guy, so he had to wear him down. Because I mean, Hector Lombard was fucking killing him in that first round, but he was able to weather the storm, and I think that shows a lot of resilience. I still want to see him put in a position where he has to fight his way through submissions, because that is the one blemish on his record. He's gonna have to go through Damian Maia again. The last time I seen him lose was to Damian Maia, and he's a good fighter, but that's the one thing I want to see him put in that position again, is versus Damian Maia, and see or any other submission specialist, to see how he can deal with that. He's gonna have to gradually improve that ground game, especially with his submission defense. I think I've rambled on long enough, man. Hey, let's see. Let me check my subscribers here. Oh man, last time we shot the fuck up in subscribers. Right now we are at 9,963 subscribers. We are 37 away from 10,000. 37 away from 10,000. Let's get to 10,000, man. I know we can do it. I know we can break 10,000. Getting ready to go to the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs start. There's 13 more games in the regular season. This is the last. I think this is the last event. Yeah, it's the last event for this month. No more events for this month, even though there's 14 more days. No, 11 more days left in this month. So we don't have there's not a card next weekend. After this, the next card will be Rothwell versus Dos Santos, and I will probably more than likely not be broadcasting from here in Florida. This is probably my last time broadcasting or talking about a UFC event here in Florida. The next time I do a post-fight results video or post-fight recap video, it will probably be broadcasted from Atlanta. So, like I said, man, there's a lot of shit going on for me right now. A lot of positive things going on for me right now. I thank everybody who tunes in and checks out the videos and talks MMA with me, whether it's on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. We're almost 30,000 strong. At Casual. Once again, that's at KASUWELL. Follow me on Twitter. And make sure that you subscribe, man. But a huge win for Mark Hunt, got a big win. And definitely Neil Magny, man, continuing to rise up in the rankings. Let me know how you felt about the night's event. I will talk to you guys next time. Subscribe. Peace.